Welcome back. We're back at it again today. You can see we're not on the water today. Still recovering from surgery, so I can't quite get back out on the water yet. But we got another video coming to you. You know, we already did the soft plastic challenge and the baits, how we would use them, and what we think is our most confidence bait. And we're going to do the same thing today with hard baits. We picked 8 of the baits that we use quite frequently. We've done a random draw just to make it fair. Some of these baits that get eliminated early, depending on what they were going up against, may have made it further. But the way they ended up pairing up in the random drawing, and you may hear my dog, he's down below. So if you hear something, that is the little weenie dog down below. But it was a complete random draw, and that's how we set our matchups for this today. We appreciate you guys coming along. Alright, so our first matchup that we have paired up, first we have Whopper Plopper. Who doesn't love a good topwater bite? One of our favorites that we go to. We got it paired up against
a swim bait or glide bait, but you know, the same thing about
you know, those are both the glide bait. That's something that's new to us this year that we've started to use. Whopper Plopper, like I said, who doesn't like a good topwater bait? But if we're matching these two up together and we had to pick one, what's our pick going to be?
Whopper Plopper.
We're going with a Whopper Plopper. That's something we love to throw in the rivers and catch smallmouth. Does really well, caught a lot of fish, and plus it's a topwater blow up. Alright, our next matchup that we have a jerk bait, and we got it paired up against chatterbait. Well, there it went. Can't hold on today. Hands ain't working, but you know, chatterbait won a lot of money over the last several years for folks. A good bait, use it anytime. Jerk bait's a good one. That's something I don't use a whole lot. I will downsize when it comes to jerk bait fishing and catch smallmouth. That's typically what my jerk bait fishing consists of. Although I will throw in a local lake, I will throw that Rapala Maverick, and haven't had much success on it so far, but that's the matchup that we have. And if we had to pick between these two as what we would want, if we could only pick one lure to use, that pick's going to be what?
Chatterbait. That's
right, chatterbait. And in particular, favorite one we like to use is on the expensive side is the jackhammer. You know, that's what a lot of people use, but just like the action. And I have a lot of the original chatterbaits as well, but we're going with chatterbait. The next two baits that we have paired against each other, we have crankbait, and then we have it going up against spinnerbait. This one was a tough one. This one really was a tough one. I like throwing a spinnerbait. I'll throw it all year. You know, I'll slow it down when I need to. I speed it up when I need to. But it was a tough matchup. You can fish both of them all year long, just depending on what's going on in the circumstance. Both are very versatile baits. But if we had to pick one, what are we picking?
Crankbait.
We're going with crankbait. I know that's his favorite. He likes crankbait fishing. That's something I'm not big on, but I don't mind it. I like it. It is fun sitting there bringing that thing across the bottom, and when they load up on it, it is a lot of fun catching fish on a crankbait. But if we were pairing those two up, crankbait gets the nod. And our final pairing of this first round of baits that we have a jig, and we have it paired against a buzz bait. These are two that I don't use a lot. Sometimes I'll throw a bitsy bug jig when I'm in the river fishing for smallmouth. Outside of that, I don't throw the jig a whole lot. I'll throw the bladed jig, I'll throw at chatterbait. That's the extent of my jig fishing pretty much. So don't have a lot of experience with either. I like that topwater bait or topwater bite with a buzz bait. But if I'm throwing topwater, I like to throw a spook, or I like to throw out prop style and out Whopper Plopper. That's my go-tos. But if we're picking between a jig and a buzz bait, what are we picking?
We're picking the jig.
We're going with the jig. The versatility of it, the ability to throw it so much throughout the year, in different situations, we feel like that's going to give us the best opportunity to catch fish. Alright, so the 4 baits that we have that made it past the first round: a whopper plopper, a chatterbait, a crankbait, and a jig. That's the 4 that we felt suits our style of fishing. And this may be different for everybody depending on what part of the country you're in, what kind of fishing that you like. Because when it comes to this power fishing, it comes to hard baits, I'm not the best. I go finesse, I go soft plastics. That's where I go, and that's how I fish. But our first matchup in this semi-final round, the second round, we have a whopper plopper going up against the old chatterbait. Again, now we're getting down to tough picks. Who doesn't love a good topwater bite? Those explosions cannot beat a topwater bite. But if we were picking between the whopper plopper and a chatterbait to move forward for what we're going to fish day in and day out, what are we picking?
Chatterbait.
Picking the chatterbait. That's just something we feel like that we can catch fish on more often than a topwater. You know, in the summer, spring, summer, when that water gets warm, we're throwing topwater. But I feel like I can take that chatterbait and catch fish all the time. All right, our second semifinal matchup that we have the old jig going up against
The crankbait.
The crankbait. Again, tough decisions. But when it comes to fishing, we do fish a crankbait more than we fish a jig. That's just something that we like to do, that we have more confidence in. But if we were picking between those two, again, to move forward, that's the only bait that we could pick. And what we thought we could catch fish on, what are we picking?
We're picking the crankbait.
Picking a crankbait. I got sleepy over here. About to fall asleep. But we're picking the crankbait. That's what we feel like that we can get the most bites on. Alright, here we go. We're down to our final 2 baits. As far as what we would like to use, or what we would use. First up, again, chatterbait. It's in our final list. We got it paired up against what?
Crankbait.
So those are the 2 baits that if we really wanted to have at all times, we're going to have crankbait and a chatterbait at all times. And then when we look at those 2 and we had to pick, what are we picking?
Chatterbait.
We're picking a chatterbait. Not to take away from the crankbait, not to take away from spinner baits and all those other baits, but we just feel like we can fish that, get bites on it consistently throughout the year. This is what we have confidence in. Like I said, not a big power fisherman. You know, need to throw these more and get that confidence built up. But you know, we're going with that chatterbait, and like I said, we're going to be going with that jackhammer. That's really what we feel like we can use to generate those bites. All right, so that was our baits, our top baits. If we're picking out of hard baits as to what we're going to use. Now, all 8 baits that we showed today, we use them, and we use them all the time. But those are just the ones that we know we have confidence in, just like you. If you enjoyed this video, let us know. If there's something else that you would want us to do, that you would like to see, let us know. Drop a comment down below as to what you like to use, when you like to use it. Because we know so much, it depends on the water temperature, it depends on the seasons, you know, the water clarity, so much goes into it. Those are just the ones we feel like we can catch fish on throughout the year. Thank you guys for coming along. We enjoy doing these videos for you guys. We can't wait to get back out on the water, can't wait to get healed back up, get back throwing some actual lures in the water. But we do appreciate you coming along, and if you hadn't already, hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, let us know what you would like to see in the future. But until next time, God bless.